you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talk.
I was watching LNU Blitz, and he's been doing a lot of videos like the best player on this team, best player for number. So I decided to do it a little bit similar, except we're going to extend it to all time and not just right now. I will be going over the best quarterback from every NFL team all time. And I just want to have a quick disclaimer. A team can be on two teams. So if they were the best quarterback of all time on one team, that doesn't mean that they can't be said to be on another team. Like, for example, maybe Peyton Manning. What if I say he's the best quarterback for the Colts and the Broncos? Like, I will count two QBs because I'm trying to go for the best all time, and they have to have played a decent amount of time. So, yeah, let's get right into this. Sorry if I messed up explaining that. Just if you want me to re-say it, a player can be the best all time on two teams. They don't have to be stuck to being one team. So if I say like Kurt Warner is the best quarterback of all time on the Rams, that doesn't mean that I can't say he's the best quarterback of all time on another teams. So for the Arizona Cardinals, I have Kurt Warner. It was really down to him and Carson Palmer. And Kurt Warner played about as long as Carson Palmer. But Kurt Warner is the better all-time player, and he went to the Super Bowl with this team. And it's just hard to pass up on him, especially with the Cardinals not known to have amazing QBs in their time. So I got to go with Kurt Warner here for the Arizona Cardinals. Next, I got to go with Joe Montana. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, did a Jerry Rice, but I mean, come on, Joe Montana is the greatest receiver of all, or greatest quarterback of all time for the 49ers. Arguably the greatest all time at quarterback. I'd probably say Tom Brady, but Joe Montana is definitely one of the greats and deserves to be named the best quarterback of all time in 49ers history. And yeah, man, didn't this man win a few Super Bowls? Now this may be a controversial one, but I'm going to go Brett Favre for the Green Bay Packers. If he was on most other teams, this would not be controversial, but since Aaron Rodgers is currently the Green Bay Packers quarterback, it's kind of hard. It's really just down to those two, but I have to go Brett Favre here. He has currently a greater legacy with them, and I just feel like he has to be the best in Green Bay. And for America's team, the 5-time Super Bowl winning franchise, for the Dallas Cowboys, I have Roger Staubach. It was really down to him and Troy Aikman. I honestly probably would have said Troy Aikman until I try to really dissect this, but I think Roger Staubach, he is just really good, man. I mean, I just think the way he started, like, getting Dallas these championships, Troy Aikman kind of continued it. He started a legacy, and he has ended it as the best quarterback of all time as America's team. I'm a believer in this man. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time for the Chiefs. Now, I know he's only played 2 seasons. I realize that. But he is on pace to. This season and last season, he's won an MVP, has gone to the Super Bowl, and he has a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and has been arguably the best quarterback in the league since entering the league, or since starting for the Chiefs. And he has turned the Chiefs into Super Bowl contenders every year, and I think one day he could be named the greatest quarterback ever over Tom Brady. It's just early, but you have to put him here for now. Like, come on, man. Now, for the Houston Texans, I have Deshaun Watson, and I know he's only played 3 seasons, but listen, I know the Texans haven't been around for a long time, but he's only 3 seasons in, and he already has the 3rd best record in Texans quarterback, like out of all the Texans quarterbacks, and will probably have the 2nd best after next year. I think Deshaun Watson is one of the most underrated quarterbacks. I don't think they've really had a great quarterback in their franchise. The only other competition is really Derek Carr, and he was only like 4 games above 500. Deshaun Watson's already like 9 games above 500 for his record, and I just think he's really good. He's a young quarterback. I think it's the first real quarterback they've gotten. And yeah, I think even though he hasn't played a long career, kind of like Patrick Mahomes, it's like you just know he's going to be the best. I have him here for the Texans. Now I picked Warren Moon for the Tennessee Titans. It was really down to him and Steve McNair, but I picked Warren Moon because he just seems to be him out in every stat, and he's just more of a legendary quarterback in my opinion. He did a lot. I mean, I know he was part of the Houston Oilers, but that I'm going off franchise, like the whole entire franchise. So, yeah, Warren Moon for the Tennessee Titans, but still with the same franchise. I got to pick Warren Moon right here. He deserves it as the best quarterback of all time for the Titans. For the New England Patriots, I'm going Tom Brady, and don't really need to explain this one. And for the greatest quarterback to wear the black and gold, I'm going Terry Bradshaw. I mean, I just thought off the top of my head, I mean, it has to be Terry Bradshaw. I'm not really going to do too much research. I mean, come on, this man went a few chips. Hall of Fame quarterback for sure out of the Louisiana Tech, I believe. He's a great quarterback, and yeah. For the Washington Redskins, I'm going Joe Theismann. I mean, he unfortunately had the injury by the great Lawrence Taylor, but yeah, I mean, he's been to All-Pro. He won a Super Bowl. Definitely one of the greats, and I would say for sure he's the best quarterback of all time for the Redskins. And I mean, yeah, this dude is great, and I mean, he's got to be the best for the Redskins right here. Now here I have Donovan McNabb for the Philadelphia Eagles. For me, it was either him or Randall Cunningham, but I picked Donovan McNabb. He is known as one of the best athletes in Philly sports, and he has done a lot for the Eagles. 6-time Pro Bowler. This man is legit. He deserves this spot. Enjoy it. This is probably the only time you'll ever hear me compliment anything related to the Eagles. So yeah, Donovan McNabb, you've grabbed this spot. So for the New Orleans Saints, I have Drew Brees. I mean, yeah, this man won a Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure he has the NFL record for the most passing TDs, if I'm not mistaken. Him and Tom Brady both passed Peyton Manning this year. Man's a legend. Who knows if he'll retire? He's on the last year of his contract, I'm pretty sure. He'll be a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's next year, I don't know. But, yeah, Drew Brees, my opinion, Saints probably should have won the Super Bowl last year. Next, I have Ken Stabler. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I honestly don't know a lot about this guy. I just get his statistics and who else played for the Raiders, and he just seemed like the best option from his accolades. He's a Hall of Famer, 4-time Pro Bowler, and it really was down to him and Rich Gannon, but he played longer. I feel like he just left a bigger legacy than Rich Gannon, so I have to go him right here. As I'm recording this, he retired yesterday from the NFL, Eli Manning. I mean, I picked him over Phil Simms' accolades, been to more Pro Bowls. He's 2-time Super Bowl champion, maybe a Hall of Famer, finished his career exactly at 500. And I've decided to give this nod to him. I mean, he deserves over Phil Simms, and yeah, Eli Manning, you got this one. The Tennessee alumni, I'm going Peyton Manning as the best quarterback of all time in the Colts history. I really thought it was Johnny Unitas, and then I remember Peyton Manning. He has been twice as many Pro Bowls as Johnny Unitas. The only thing is that he's not a Hall of Famer, but he hasn't been out of retirement as long, obviously. And he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And when he was out of his prime, he still won a Super Bowl on the crappy Broncos. So I got to give Peyton Manning this spot right here. We're going Peyton Manning again. Yes, again for the Denver Broncos. If you remember what I said in the intro, I'm going Peyton Manning again. And I know there's a man named John Elway. But Tom Brady, I'm looking at the stats, man. I'm looking at the accolades. It's not even close. Peyton Manning has way more passing yards, way more passing TDs, a much higher completion percentage, more Pro Bowls. Like, dude, Peyton, just look at the stats. Take a good few minutes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Peyton Manning here. Now, for the LA Rams, I have Kurt Warner. Now, there was Roman Gabriel and some of these other people. And I know Kurt Warner only played 5 seasons with this team, but his stats and his accolades just out of range. I mean, there was just one Hall of Fame quarterback, but the statistics just weren't even close, and he played way more games. So I have to go Kurt Warner here. He got this team to a Super Bowl, and I'm pretty sure they won the Super Bowl. And I feel like he just did a lot in a short amount of time, so you have to give it to Kurt Warner right here. Hello, Boomer, S-E-N, I don't know. I don't know a lot about this guy, but I do know he won MVP, and it's been the Pro Bowl 4 times. And it's really down to him and Ken Anderson, but his stats just took him over, and he did it all in a less amount of time, so I have to go Boomer right here. So for the Baltimore Ravens, I have Joe Flacco. This may be Lamar Jackson in 2 or 3 years, and I know I already had Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson already had a great record, or one of the best records as a Texan, and then Patrick Mahomes has already been the Super Bowl and MVP. Like, he may actually just be the best in a few years, but yeah, I have to go Joe Flacco here for the Ravens for now. He is playing 160-plus games for the Ravens, and is a former Super Bowl MVP, and you got to give Flacco the spot right here. You know, Brian Sipe and Otto Graham, but I decided to go Otto Graham. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, has been to the Hall of Fame. Brian Sipe did win MVP, but he is not in the Hall of Fame and only has 1 Pro Bowl. Otto Graham, his stats and accolades just barely outbid him, so I got to go Otto Graham right here for the Browns. I'm going to go Russell Wilson here. The only real competition was Matt Hasselbeck, but Russell Wilson's already been to more Pro Bowls, won a Super Bowl. Probably would have won another one if it wasn't for that controversial running call at the end of the game. And Russell Wilson was arguably the best quarterback this year, right by Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, Russell Wilson, you deserve the spot. Fran Tarkenton, I believe is how you say it. I probably would have said Dante Culpepper till I saw his. Hall of Famer, 9-time Pro Bowler, over 4,000 passing yards. I think, yeah, and then he has like a 63% completion percentage. Just, man, I haven't really heard of him a lot, but, I mean, jeez, I should hear about him a little more. This dude has some good accolades and stats, and I pick him right here. Whoa. Well, this has to be one of the little sadder ones. Jay Cutler, for some reason, is looks like he's the best quarterback of all time for the Bears. I looked at Jim McCannon, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, the stats were not really that close to Jay Cutler. I mean, Jay Cutler only went to one Pro Bowl. I'm just kind of confused right now, but I guess Jay Cutler, from what I'm seeing, may be the best. I just always picture him as a pretty bad quarterback, but Jay Cutler deserves a spot, I guess. I have Mark Brunell for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There honestly really wasn't any competition for this one. I mean, he leads in almost every passing stat, 3-time Pro Bowler, he won the Super Bowl one year. And I think he's just the obvious choice right here. I'm going Mark Brunell for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I gotta go Jim Kelly right here. He went to the Super Bowl 4 times, Hall of Famer, 5-time Pro Bowler. It was really just him and Joe Ferguson, but you gotta pick him. I mean, you let the bigger legacy in Buffalo. And I mean, this guy, I just remember from going to 3 straight Super Bowls and below it, and apparently he went another time and didn't win. So, I mean, come on, Jim Kelly, gets it right here. From Auburn, I'm going Cam Newton. I mean, this guy went to the Pro Bowl 3 times, won an MVP, an All-Pro, went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he hasn't been that great the past few years, but he has done enough within his time to be the Panthers' best quarterback of all time now. Honestly, even though these past few years haven't been great, he's really just been his career is really good, and that's why he's right here. And Cam Newton, you deserve this spot right here. I have Vinny Testaverde. I don't know how you say it. Testaverde, I don't know. But it was really down to him and Jameis Winston, believe it or not. But this dude has over 4,000 career passing yards, played 4 more games than Jameis Winston, 2-time Pro Bowler, just never really won a Super Bowl, but I'm just going to give it to him right here. I don't really know a lot about him. As much as I want to go Michael Vick, I have to go Matt Ryan. It's only right. He played more games. Who knows? Maybe Mike Vick would be on here if he had played more, but Matt Ryan took his team to the Super Bowl, 5-time Pro Bowler, over 5,000 career passing yards, 325 passing TDs, I believe. So I got to go him, but I don't know, man. I really wish Mike Vick was up here. I got to go Matthew Stafford here. There was a Hall of Fame quarterback, but his career completion percentage was under 50% and had 26,000 career passing yards. Well, Matthew Stafford had about 41,000, and he played 30 less games than the other dude. So I have to go Matthew Stafford here just based off stats. And he has been in Pro Bowl once, so I guess that is something, so I could give Matthew Stafford the spot here. Now, it was really, really close. It was down to Phillip Rivers and Dan Fouts, but I decided to give it to Phillip Rivers. He has played way more games for the Chargers, except Dan Fouts is in the Hall of Fame. But, I mean, Phillip Rivers might also, too. It's just really, really close. Phillip Rivers had a higher completion percentage. Phillip Rivers also had more yards and all that, but he also played longer, so. But I'm going to give it to Phillip Rivers here. Miami Dolphins, I've one of the best athletes to never win a championship, and that's Dan Marino, 9-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame quarterback, over 61,000 passing yards, over 200 passing TDs. Definitely one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Dan Marino definitely deserves it here. And even their second best, I can't exactly remember his name, but their second best quarterback is also real good. But Dan Marino definitely deserves this spot right here.